Okay, everybody, what is happening today? I'm just going to do a little bit of update of what's going on with the Cen Genesis. So, y'all can see that I installed the HPI Savage shocks on this thing, and I think it turned out to be pretty good. The main reason is the fronts weren't really a big problem. Yes, they were rubbing, but they were really not that big of a deal. But the rears were a little more of an issue because of how wide they were. I cannot fit them over here on the spot because you can see there isn't much room. Now, I think I already said this in the other video, but I'll say it again just for the sake of it. So, I think you can still get maybe like rear steer conversion kit, but then you know what? I really, don't need this thing to be all over the place and stuff like that. So I was like, there's this thing right here, and let's see if I can get those cheap Savage shocks to rebuild. And pretty much I had them rebuilt. Now, for some odd reasons, I couldn't get like the actual O-rings for these things. I mean, I wrote down the size what I need, but for what I actually need, for the quantity I need, it just it just was not going to work because, for example, like at McMaster Car or something, right? They sell a lot of hardware stuff, O-rings, screws like this, materials, you name it. So I was, so I wrote down the size I need wrote down the size of the O-rings I need for the shocks, and you couldn't get anything lower than 100. You have to get like 100 pieces. I mean, hey, for like $4 for 100 pieces, that is a really good deal. But there's a problem. What am I gonna do with the rest of the 90 pieces, right? I don't need 100 pieces. Just need, for example, 4 upper, 4 lower, and 8 altogether, right? So that makes it like a total of 16 total sets of O-rings with different sizes. So yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Thankfully, the O-rings were not in bad shape. It's just one of the shock cartridges was loose, which caused a major oil leak. But so far, the rebuild turned out okay. I'm running 90 weight oil, and I believe these are Savage shocks, but I don't know what kind of springs they are. So I mean, they're actually really soft because they compress more than the upper ones. So when I install the tires, and if they're too soft, then I'm gonna add some stiffer ones. But overall, guys, this project is coming along fairly nicely. And yeah, the engine choice for this thing is either going to be an LRP32 or a Hobeo Hyper Turbo 30 or something. And the other stuff I've done to this truck. So this piece right here is kind of a little bit crooked because I robbed it off from this upper piece right here. And the reason why I did that is that I couldn't find a set for those little brackets that mounts those doors. For example, for like the receiver box and the battery box. The battery box was more of a crucial part because I mean, where else I'm gonna mount the receiver pack, right? So the only option is to mount them in the bottom. I'm really not too worried about the upper piece because I could just find like another body post, then make like make like a lid or something. Or maybe I could just use this box, just to cover all the wire mesh and have the receiver sitting on top. And the center drive shaft, or the front center drive shaft, it is a little bit loose. It is not the right part for this truck. Because, now I couldn't find like an actual OEM part, similar a lot like this, for this truck. I think I already said it in this other video, but hey, whatever, I'm just repeat it again. I mean, whatever, right? So I couldn't find this other this actual OEM front metal dog bone. So this is a dog bone, but this is not the correct one. You see how loose it is in there. I think now, let's see if I can put this thing in forward drive. So everything is running smoothly versus that thing's kind of a little bit wobbling down there. Let's go to reverse. Yeah, so pretty much this is going to be an interesting machine when it gets done. And the wheelbase is just like a Savage XL. Gonna have to find some proper rod ends because these feel stiff. And it's not going to be good for the steering servo. This is the Chaos RC 17mm hexes. Technically for like a Cen Reaper, Cen Genesis, and all other monster trucks. Of Cen monster trucks, not for general purpose. But yeah, we'll see how next year turns out to be. You know, can't wait to throw in like an actual high performance big block to rip this thing around. Some people were a little bit concerned about this truck, like, you know, some of them are like, you really can't find any more parts for this truck. And you know, I do agree with them. You can barely find any parts for this truck. I mean, you can find the parts for the front and the back, but not the center. So as long as I'm not too crazy with this truck, it's gonna be okay. And yes, some are wondering what happened to this 2-speed support right here. You guys are right. There was supposed to be this center brake support to hold this gear in. I mean, I can pretty much lift this thing up and, you know, compress it hard. It's pretty strong. I mean, it's because it's a little bit heavy, so I mean that is the thing that I need to be considerate of. But I really don't think it's not gonna be that big of a deal. So yeah, we'll definitely see how this truck drives for next year. But anyway, guys, I just thought to point out what's going on with the Cen Genesis. Finally, once again, I got the fuel tank in and stuff like that. You know, got the Savage shocks mounted, and again, when I add this thing, when I add the engine, and everything else, and if it's too soft, then I'm going to stiffen up the springs. But anyway, guys, I just thought to share this video with y'all. So stay tuned for more. Take care.